So we're going to roll out our feet. So whatever you've got, you're going to place it on the floor and you're just going to roll your foot over it. Okay. So just go nice and slowly. You just need something that will roll. And we're rolling the foot out. Try and cover the whole surface of the sole of your foot. So make sure you go right down the outside edge, right down the middle, and down the inside edge, just covering everywhere. And if you find anywhere that feels a little bit tender, feels like bruised, that's just a sign of tension that's there. So if you can, just roll through it. You can go gentle, you can put as much or as little pressure on as you like, and it will really depend on how hard your ball is, or if you're rolling on a tin or a bottle, how hard that is will have an effect on this. And it is good to use different sizes and different pressures. So when you've rolled out all of the sole of your foot, have your heel down on the floor and bring your ball to where your toes are, and then just kind of let your toes press into the ball, just kind of putting a little bit of pressure on the underside of your toes. And then can you just keep your heel down and roll your toes or the rest of your foot side to side without losing your ball. So like a windscreen wiper with your foot, just can you do a little bit of that. And then you're going to place your ball under your heel and then just have a little bit of pressure. So I'm just kind of pressing my heel in and just moving it all around on my heel. And then again, you can see if you can roll side to side. I always lose my ball when I try and do that. Let's see if you can just roll out there. And then again, just rolling through the surface of your foot. Make sure you go all the way from the base of your toes to your heel. You can roll your heel out if you want to. Go right from the base of your toes. It's kind of like, you know, like when you're hoovering and you go in like lines. I feel like I have to do that with my foot to make sure that I've covered the whole surface. So kind of just backwards and forwards. So we're still on that same side. We're giving a little bit of attention just to that one foot. Okay, and then we're going to step away from your ball and just step your feet down and just notice and see if it feels any different one side to the other. So if you have a lot of tension in your foot, then when you step down and you've rolled it out a little bit, it will feel flatter, it will feel more like it's in more contact with the floor. And then if you look at your feet and just notice if there's any difference, because when we work the muscles of the feet, it increases the circulation to the feet. So have a look and see if there's any colour difference from one foot to the other. And then we're going to do the same on the other side. So again, you're just rolling out the whole of your sole of your foot. Notice your alignment here. So when you're rolling your foot out, notice if you kind of drop into one hip and try and keep standing up nice and tall. So if you need to hold on to something, that's fine, but don't kind of just hang out in one hip. So again, put as much or as little pressure as you like, looking for any of those little areas of tension. Making sure you've done the outside edge of your foot, the middle of your foot, inside edge. And then heel down again. Place your ball under your toes. Can you roll a little bit side to side? The whole point is just to mobilise, to break up tension and to get the circulation going. And then can you have your toes down and heel on the ball? And again, just putting a little bit of pressure through your heel. And then maybe rolling side to side. And then again, just rolling through the foot. So like I say, it's good to do it with different textures. It's good to use like spiky balls, soft balls, you know, that you can kind of press into. Tennis balls are quite good for that. Hard balls where you have got no spring back from them. It's good to just play with different textures. Golf balls are good, but they are very hard, and obviously because they're very small, when you put pressure on those, it's a lot more pressure to a small area. So, you know, you kind of have to build up to those, but they are good. Okay, step down again, and just have a feel then. How do your feet feel? Do they both feel a little bit flatter? Do they feel a little bit more connected to the floor? Have a look at them. Do they look different in colour? Hopefully they both look the same colour now, but just notice. And then just pop your ball to the side so that you're not going to fall over it. We're going to come back to it again shortly, well, at the end. Okay, so let's have a look at our feet then. So feet are hip width apart. Outside edges of your feet are straight, so make sure that you've not got your feet turned out, so outside edge is straight. Back your weight up through your heels, and pelvis is in a neutral position, so it's not tilted back or forwards, it's just upright. And then let's have a look at our toes. Can you lift and spread your toes and place them down? Again, lift and spread your toes and place them down. Do one more time, lift and spread and place them down. Lifting each toe individually now. So can you lift just your big toe? Can you lift your second toe? Third toe? Fourth and little toe. Once all of your toes are up, can you go the opposite way? So little toe goes down first. Then your fourth toe. Third, second, first. So just do a couple of run-throughs of that. You're trying to lift each toe up and then lowering each toe down. Noticing how much mobility you have through your feet and where you need to improve. Alright, when you lay all of your toes down again this time, we're going to take it into the top of the foot stretch. So you're going to take one leg behind and tuck your toes under. Trying to get onto the base of the toes and then standing tall. Make sure that you aren't arching your back and rib thrusting here. The ribs want to stay down. And just take a few breaths there. Letting go of any tension anywhere else. So check your jaw, check your shoulders. Make sure that you aren't clenching your fists. Notice how much tension you've got through your thighs. Can you release any tension there? And then we're going to go and do the same on the other side. So step to the other side, take that leg back. Again onto the base of your toes and make sure you're standing nice and tall. So try and have that leg that's going back as straight as you can. It's very tempting to kind of bend at the knee, but try and keep that leg straight. Good. We're going to go back to the first side and we're going to roll across the top of the foot this time. So taking that leg back. And you're going to roll across the top of your foot. Notice again if you are dipping into one hip, try and keep yourself up and just roll across the top of the foot. Do the same on the other side. Just rolling across your foot. Alright. Let's do calf stretch now. So grab your half dome or your rolled up towel. And then we're going to step the ball of one foot towards the top of the dome. Heel is down onto the floor. And then step your other leg to hip width apart. Now depending on how much tension you have will dictate how the distance between the 2 feet. So have a look again at the outside edges of your feet and try and get those straight. And then try and stand up tall. Again, just check for tension, so check your jaw, check your shoulders, and just let it go. And just take some deep breaths here. Each time you exhale, just see if you can relax a little bit more. So think about your calf lengthening. The muscle is stretching, it's lengthening down to the floor. So from your heel, lowering down to the floor, just imagine that muscle is soft and lengthening. We don't want to be at war with our body, we don't want to be battling it all the time. We want to think about allowing it to release, just kind of changing the way that we think about exercise, really. Can you step your free leg a little bit further forwards? And if you can't, then you can't. Just try and just see where you're at today. Often if you've been doing a lot of walking or even sitting, really, if you've been doing something, the same thing over and over, it will often shorten your calf muscles. So it can really vary, this exercise, from day to day. Just a couple more breaths here. And then we're going to do the same on the other side. So, again, ball of the foot towards the top of the dome or the towel, heel down on the floor, and then step your other leg to hip width apart. Standing nice and tall. Noticing if it's different on this side to the other side. Just let go of any tension. And again, think about your calf muscle lengthening. Think about it releasing the tension and allowing it to lengthen. And just take some deep breaths. See if you can sneak that standing leg a little bit further forward. If it makes you feel like you're going to fall backwards, then just step back again. Can you relax your quads? Can you let your knees relax? So you're trying to keep your weight through the leg that's on the dome. And again, just take a few more breaths. We're going to take it into our double calf stretch this time. So you're going to have both feet on the dome, so balls of the feet on the top of the dome, heels down on the floor. And then we're going to hinge forwards from the hips, so folding forwards at the hips. You can rest your hands on your thighs. Have a look at the outside edges of your feet. Notice if you've turned your feet out, can you get those outside edges straight? And then can you let your knees go here? So let your thighs relax so that your kneecaps drop. Yeah, see if you can relax your kneecaps. So you're keeping your weight back through your heels. Think about sticking your bottom out so you're not rounding through the spine. So think about sending your sit bones to the wall behind you. Good job. And then come up and out of that. Just give your legs a little shake out. And then just get rid of your towel or your half dome, pop it down to the side. And we're going to come down onto our back now. You're going to lie down onto your... And just take a moment for your spine to settle into the mat. So let your chest and shoulders roll open. Allow the back of your ribcage to be heavy and the back of your pelvis to be heavy. And just take a few breaths there. And then we're going to bring both knees in towards our chest. Hold onto your knees and just rock gently from side to side. going to keep hold of the right knee and let your left foot come back down onto the mat. You're going to pull your right knee in towards you to really get a good deep stretch into your hip. Don't let your bottom lift though, so notice if when you pull your knee in, it's making your pelvis go as well. So keep the back of your pelvis anchored and just pull the knee. Keep hold of that right leg and straighten it up towards the ceiling, pulling it towards you again. Keep your tailbone anchored. And can you point and flex your foot here? So think about moving through your ankle and then circle your foot around. And can you reverse and go the other way? And then pull that knee back into you again. Keep your tailbone anchored. And then just lower that right leg down. Bring the left knee in, pull it in towards you to take a stretch. Again, make sure your tailbone is anchored. Straighten that leg to the ceiling, pull it towards you, and point and flex your foot here. And then circle your foot around in one direction and reverse and go the other way. Excellent. Pull your knee into your chest again, just give it a little stretch. And then we're going to do our strap stretch. So find your strap. So if you heard a loud bang, I just hit my microphone with my metal buckle. Okay, and then you're going to pop the strap around the base of your toes. And you're going to straighten your other leg out long on the mat. Now we're trying to get the back of the other leg down into the mat, so notice if there's a big space, and you might have to lower the leg that's in the strap down a little bit. Leg that's in the strap is heavy, so use the strap to pull the front of the foot towards you. Make sure that your ribs are relaxed and down. Check your jaw again. We don't want to be creating any more tension in our body. And then if it feels okay for you, bring that leg across your body. And then bring your leg back into centre, turn out from the hip and take it out to the side. Good, and then bring that leg back into centre. We're going to turn that leg out again from the hip, so the leg is turned out. We're going to do some circles, we're going to do 5 in each direction. Guide it with the strap. So bring your leg across your body and then circle it down, around and up. 5 in each direction. You can make your circle as big or as small as you like, but try and have it so that it's just the leg circling, so that your pelvis isn't shifting, your spine isn't shifting, it's just the leg. So the back of your pelvis will stay anchored the whole time. When you've done 5 in one direction, you're just going to reverse and go the other way. And when you've done 5 in each direction, you're just going to switch legs in the strap. So just go at your own speed, don't worry if you're still doing your circles, that's fine. Because you're just going to do exactly the same on the other side. Reaching your other leg out long. Leg in the strap is heavy, pulling the front of the foot towards you, pressing your heel away. Check your jaw again for tension. And bring your leg across your body. Back back into centre, slightly turn out from the hip and take it out to the side. Good, bring that leg back into centre, make sure we've got that turn out, and again we're going to do 5 circles in each direction. Notice if it's different on this side. Can you keep your pelvis super still? When you've done 5 one way, just reverse and go the other way. When you've done 5 in each direction, you can get rid of your strap. When you've got rid of your strap, you're going to take it into your cobbler stretch. So soles of the feet together, knees out to the side. Allowing your inner thighs to have a little stretch, opening out your hip. And then we're going to take both arms up towards the ceiling. Interlace your fingers and flip your hands over, pressing your palms to the ceiling. Take a good stretch into your hands. Keep the ribs down as you take your arms overhead, stretching. When you're ready, slowly bring your hands back to the ceiling. Bring your fingers apart, give your fingers a good wriggle, get as much space between each finger as you can, and then circle your wrists around. And the other way. Gently pulling each finger back in turn to stretch out your fingers. And give them a wriggle again. When you're ready, we're going to bring our knees together. Take your arms out to the side for just a little gentle spine twist. So let's have palms facing up towards the ceiling. Make sure the backs of your shoulder blades are anchored into the mat and feet and knees are together. Take a breath. As you exhale, both knees gently roll to one side. Keep your shoulder blades anchored. Inhale as you come through centre and exhale over to the other side. Just move with the speed of your breath. If you want, you can allow your head to roll the opposite side to your knees. Just move nice and slow. We're going to take it into our crocodile next. So you're going to roll onto your side. Remember, you can pop something under your head if you feel that you need something under there. You're going to have your knees bent and we're going to have the arms out in front. Okay. So at the moment, your pelvis and your rib cage are both facing in the same direction. So when we open out, we want the pelvis to stay where it is and then the rib cage is going to twist. Okay, so pelvis needs to stay anchored where it is. So if you find that you can go so far back and then your knees start to lift, then don't go any further. Keep that pelvis anchored and just go as far as you can keep your knees down. When you're ready, we're going to reach that top arm forwards and then start to open it out towards the ceiling. Really keep stretching that arm. Allow your head to follow your hand if that feels good to you, or you can keep your head still if not. So pelvis stays where it is and you're rotating your ribs away from your pelvis. Go as far as you feel that you can comfortably go. Kind of find that boundary where you feel that it's working, you feel that there's some change happening, but you can still breathe and you can still talk. Pause in here for a couple of breaths. Try and find softness and release there, so try not to create tension and make sure that you can still breathe. And then when you're ready, we're going to start to slowly bring that arm back up and all the way over. So I'm going to do that again. When you're ready, reach that top arm forwards. Reach it up towards the ceiling. And slowly start to take the arm back. Allow your rib cage to twist. Pelvis stays where it is. Again, just a couple of breaths here. And when you're ready, start to slowly bring that arm back up. And over. We're just going to do one more time on this side. So when you feel ready again, just moving in your own time. Opening out. So usually the third time is a little bit easier. Usually go a little bit further. Again, just pausing for a couple of breaths in your maximum position. And then when you're ready, slowly coming back up. And close the crocodile. Roll over onto your other side now, so you can do the same on the other side. When you're ready, exactly the same again, keeping those knees down. You're going to start to open up that top arm. Really reach your arm for the ceiling. Remember, the pelvis stays where it is and you're rotating your upper body away. Once you're in your maximum position, just take in a couple of breaths, and again, just trying not to create any more tension. You're trying to find release. You're not battling your body. When you're ready, start to slowly come back up and over. And when you're ready, go again. Again, just pause for a couple of breaths, and when you're ready, come back. I'm going to do one more time on this side. Again, noticing, is it better on this third pass? Is it, and you get more release, more relaxation? Are you softer? And then when you're ready, you're going to come all the way back up. And release. Gently roll yourself onto your back. Let's move nice and slow. And then bring one knee at a time in towards your chest. Give your knees a little hug and just rock gently, side to side. Just releasing any tension you might have created there. We're going to release the legs now. Lengthen your legs out long. Take your arms overhead and stretch from your fingertips to your toes. Make yourself as long as you can. We're going to take it into our crescent stretch now. So walk your feet to the right. To shuffle. Walk your feet to the right. And then walk your arms and upper body also to the right. So you're in that banana shape. Feel free to stay here, or if you want to, you can cross your left ankle over your right. And with your right hand, you could grab your left wrist and just give it a little bit of a pull just to increase that stretch. So you're just again working at your own boundary. You're working to where you can feel a change, you can feel a stretch, but you're not creating stress in your body. So here with this exercise, we're trying to create space and length on your left side. Can you take a real deep inhale? Think about breathing into the left side of your rib cage and feel how the rib cage expands. Your ribs fan open, stretching the intercostal muscles between your ribs and stretching out the muscles of your waist. We've got both shoulder blades still anchored on the mat. You've got both butt cheeks still anchored on the mat, so you haven't rolled onto your side. And just take a couple more breaths here. Sorry if you can hear all the sirens. I don't know what's going on this morning. That's the third one. Alright, we're going to come gently out of that, so allow your arms to release. Uncross your legs. Slowly shuffle back into centre. We're going to go the other way. You're going to walk your legs to the left this time, to the left, to the left, to the left. Take your arms up and overhead and walk your arms and upper body also to the left. Again, you can stay here if that's enough, or you can cross your right ankle over your left. And you can grab your right wrist with your left hand just to give it a little bit extra stretch. Keep your ribs down, both shoulder blades in the mat, making sure you've not rolled onto your side. And again, taking some deep breaths into the right side of your rib cage. Think about your ribs fanning open, stretching the muscles between, lengthening, stretching the muscles of the waist. When you're ready, release your arms, walk your legs back into centre. Bending your knees slowly, and one at a time, bring your knees into your chest. Take hold of your knees and just rock gently side to side. Always want to just move slowly when you come out of that one. One hand on the top of each knee. You're going to open your knees out and circle around. And reverse, go the other way. Good. When you're done both ways, we're going to roll onto our side and then to come up onto all fours. We're going to go into our cat-cow now. So onto all fours. So fingers spread wide, thumbs point towards each other and elbow pits are forwards. And then make sure that your knees are directly under your hips. Okay, so take a breath in. As you exhale, you're going to tuck your tailbone under, so start to roll through your lower back, round in your lower back, round in your middle back, round in your upper back. Let your head drop down between your arms. Take a breath in. As you exhale, untuck your tailbone, stick your bottom out. Roll through your lower back, your middle back, your upper back. Think about bringing your chest through your arms. Head is the last thing to move. Keep going. Just go in the speed of your own breath. Rounding. And going the other way. So think about the movement through your spine like a wave. It wants to be nice and smooth, rolling up your spine. Job. When you come back into centre this time, we're going to pause down. We're going to come down onto our forearms. And we're going to reach one arm. It's like thread the needle, but on your elbows. So one arm is going to go behind the other elbow and reach through. So you're going to allow your upper back to twist. Hips just stay where they are. And reach your arm through. You can rest your head down. Bring that arm back in, place that arm down, do the same on the other side. Arm reaches through, And twist through your upper back, shoulders. And come back in. Just come on slowly up, just come off your hands for a moment, just give your hands a little shake out, a little twirl around. We're going to go on to hands and knees again in a moment, so we're just giving them a little break. And then we're going to do the same thing again, so fingers spread wide, thumbs point towards each other and elbow pits are forwards. We're going to go into our rhomboid push-ups now. So you're going to allow your shoulder blades to come together in your back and then shoulder blades wide. So it's not like cat-cow, your pelvis doesn't move, it's just the shoulder blades together and apart. Keep a check on those sneaky little elbow pits. Notice if they're looking at each other and try and get them to come forwards again. And then again, just come off your wrists for a moment and give your wrists a little shake. Give them a little circle in each direction. We're going to go back onto all fours again. Same thing, fingers spread wide, thumbs point towards each other, elbow pits are forwards. Okay, so we want our shoulders in that nice wide, stable position. And then we're going to reach one arm forwards and lift. And bring that arm back. Elbow pit forwards, other side. So you're trying to keep your shoulder blades stable. You're trying not to shift your weight from side to side. There's no change to the rest of your body. Alright, arms look good. Okay, so now we're going to keep the arms down. We're going to add leg instead this time, so slide one leg out, and then as you lift your leg, both hip bones are still pointing down at the floor, so don't let your pelvis twist, and then bring that leg back in. Same on the other side, leg reaches long, and then leg lifts, pelvis doesn't shift. Bring it back in. Make sure that you aren't collapsing into your shoulders, so shoulders stay wide as you alternate legs. So it's a lot more work with your legs. And then if you're happy, you can try arm and opposite leg. So you're trying to keep your torso really still. It's just the arm and the leg that are moving. And if you're not happy doing arm and leg, you can just do arms or legs, or you can just reach them forwards on the mat but don't lift them. It's all about stability. Alright, do one more time. And then just coming off your wrists again, we've got one more exercise to do on all fours. So we're going to do the Superman again that we just did, but this time when you've reached your arm and leg away from you, you're going to take them both out to the side a little bit. Okay, so it will make sense as we do it. So back into the same position, fingers wide, thumbs towards each other, elbow pits forwards. Okay, so you're going to reach your arm and leg away and then take them slightly out to the side. Bring them back into centre and bring them in. Same on the other side, so reach them forward, really stretch, take them out to the side, back into centre and release. So remember when you're reaching forwards and back, you're stretching, then take it out to the side, back in, keep going. Again, you're trying to keep your body as still as possible, so notice if you're kind of leaning to one side. It's more challenging when we add that movement. Let's do one more on each side. as you lower your hand down this time, take your bottom back towards your heels, reach your arms forwards, allow your full head to rest down on the mat if it will reach, and just take a couple of breaths here. So breathing into the back of your rib cage. Get a real big expansion as you inhale. And then we're going to come down onto our front next. So come on down onto your front. We're going to have one hand on top of the other and rest your forehead down onto your hands. Roll your shoulders down away from your ears. Think about pulling your armpits down towards your waist. Legs can either be squeezing together or hip width apart, and keep your pubic bone anchored into the mat to keep length through your lower back. We're going to do a little bit of back extension here. So you're going to really press your hands down into the mat. You're going to keep length through the back of your neck, so you're going to keep your chin down towards your chest. And as you inhale, you're going to lift the back of your head and the back of your neck towards the ceiling, and then just lower them down. It's only a little movement. Keep shoulders down away from ears, press your hands into the mat, and lift the back of the head and the back of the neck towards the ceiling, and then lower down. Just one more like that. Like somebody's got hold of you by the scruff of your neck and they're lifting and lowering. Okay, now this time we're going to keep the hands glued to the forehead, and we're going to bring the hands up as well. So exactly the same thing here. When you're ready, hands glued to head, you're going to lift the back of the head and the neck towards the ceiling, and then lower down. And again, keeping your pubic bone anchored. If you are a rib thruster, make sure that you aren't pressing your lowest rib into the mat. Keep those ribs pulled in away from the mat, and that'll keep you out of your lower back. Do one more here. And lower down. Bring your hands down by your, just in front of your shoulders now. So palms are just in front of your shoulders. Again, your eyes are down on the mat. You can rest your forehead if you wish. Okay, so we're going to lift just the hands first. Then we're going to lift the elbows, and then we're going to lift the head and lift the heart if you can. So lower the heart, lower the head, lower the elbows, lower the hands. We're going to do that again. So lift the hands, lift the elbows, lift the heart, lift the head. Lower the heart, lower the head, lower the elbows and the hands. Let's go one more time. Hands, elbows, heart and head. Lower the heart, lower the head, elbows and hands. Push yourself up and back into your rest position. Give your back a little stretch. We're going to go back onto our front again for a little bit of hip extension. So hands one on top of the other again, and you can rest your forehead down onto your hands. Okay, so feet again either hip width apart or squeezing together. Pubic bone is anchored to keep length through your lower back. You're going to reach one leg away from you. Make that leg as long as you can, and it will start to lift out of the mat, and then lower it down. Same on the other side. Reach that leg, make it as long as you can, and lower it down. So you're just going to keep switching sides, keeping your pubic bone anchored, and really reaching your leg. Can you keep your lower back really soft and quiet, and get all of the work in your glutes? Reaching the leg. Make sure you can feel your knee lifting off the mat. We tend to cheat a little bit because you can't really see what's going on behind you unless you're watching yourself on the screen. But notice whether you are just kind of bending the lower leg and keeping the knee down. Can you get the knee lifting? Reach and lengthen. We don't have very much range behind us, so you won't be lifting hugely high. But notice if your pelvis is trying to twist, and try and keep your pelvis really anchored on the mat. And rest down. Last time, push yourself up and back into your rest pose. Reach your arms forwards. Give your back a little stretch. Walk your hands to the right. So stay in that child's pose, but walk your hands to the right. Little stretch there. Walk your hands through centre, walk your hands to the left. A little stretch there. And walk yourself back into centre. And when you're ready, slowly come on up. Okay, so grab your ball again. Did everybody have a ball? Grab your ball, or whatever you've got. Okay. And we're going to do a little bit of seated work. So come to seated. Just find a position that's comfortable. You can sit on a cushion or whatever you need. Okay, so a ball is a really useful way to massage tension. So we already did a little bit on our feet, but you can use it pretty much anywhere on your body. Anything that will roll. So like I say, if you haven't got a ball, you can always use a tin or a bottle or something, but a ball is just quite useful. We're actually going to roll our arms out a little bit. So you want to go really slowly with this, because we tend to hold quite a lot of tension in our forearms, but just gently roll your ball around your forearm. Try not to let it escape. And you can go on there. Inside, just you're looking like we do with the feet, you're just looking for anywhere that feels a little bit bruised and a little bit tender, so just kind of covering. I kind of like to do little circles, that feels nice. You can just roll up and down, just do whatever feels nice for you. And then you can roll out your upper arm, so again, just circles. Looking for any areas of tension. So we tend to get quite a lot of tender spots, like on the outside of our arm, kind of where your triceps are. So just rolling out there. Again, you're just playing, noticing which areas need a little bit of attention. You can't do any harm with anything like this. The only places I wouldn't ever put it really is kind of like behind your neck, you know, and put any pressure on it there. Be very careful like behind your knees. That's about it really. You can kind of do it anywhere. Okay, so let's do the hand then. So put your ball down on the floor, put your palm on it and just roll your hand out like we do the foot. And then depending on what kind of ball you've got, so mine's a tennis ball, so it's got a little bit of give in it. It's almost like I'm trying to knead it, so I'm kind of pressing into it and rolling away. So press and roll. And if you notice at first when you start doing this, what you tend to do is what I'm doing is I'm kind of allowing my body to come forwards. So then you're trying to just have it so it's just the arm going, which is then kind of working. Rather than using the weight of your body, you're actually working muscles of your arm and shoulder as well. It's kind of a nice one to do. If your ball's really hard, it's not as easy to do that, but you can still kind of do the rolling out. Let's do the other side then. So let's go on to, again, the forearm on the other side. So obviously we're just kind of going through it quickly here. You could spend as long as you wanted on this. Just playing. Sometimes you find areas that you never even knew were like really tense. So healthy tissue shouldn't hurt when you press on it. It is a sign that unless you've got a huge bruise, it's a sign of just tension in your body. So if ever you find anywhere that feels a bit tender, give it a little bit of a massage. And again, it's great for increasing your circulation. which is always a good thing. Rolling out your upper arm. I'm a big fan of body brushing as well, you know, like with the natural bristle brushes, like brushing all of your skin. And actually, I always forget this, but Joseph Pilates was a big fan of body brushing, and even in his book that he wrote in, I think it was 1945, he wrote that one. And he was saying about every day you should brush your body with a, you know, a stiff brush. And I'm like, wow, you know, you kind of think of these things as being quite modern. Roll out your hand again. So just rolling out all of your hand. And again, maybe try that kneading. Notice if you have to lean forwards or twist your body, can you have it so it's whoop, just the arm that keeps escaping. And whoop, I think my ball's alive. You can even roll out the back of your hands. Give the back of your hands a little bit of attention as well. See how they feel. Let's have a look at our legs. So we already did our feet. Let's have a look at our calves. So can you give your calves a little bit of a roll? So I kind of like to start at the side and just kind of work my way around. So you can't do it wrong. You can go up and down if you want to. You can do circles. You can have your leg in any position that works for you. You can have it flat down if you want to, so you can put a little bit more pressure on. It's fine to roll around your ankle joint and your Achilles tendon because you will not put too much pressure on there. Your body will let you know if it's not happy with that, but that's kind of a nice place to roll out as well. Now, the front of your shin tends to be a place again that gets a lot of tension, so just go gently with it, but there's no reason why you can't roll that out. You're always just tuning in to make sure that it feels okay. Again, avoid your knee. Or avoid kind of going on your kneecap. You can kind of do the sides of your knee, that's fine. Just rolling it out. Inner thighs, we tend to hold a lot of tension here, so sometimes when we sit in that legs out and I get you to rub, try it with a ball. I'm putting like yellow shreddy bits off my ball all over my leggings. But yeah, so kind of try your inner thigh and see, how does that feel? Yeah, that usually finds a few little tender spots. How about your quad, so the front of your thigh? How does that feel? Again, you can go up and down the length if you wish. You can just do little circles. It's like getting a deep tissue massage on the cheap because it's a DIY job. And just rolling it all out. You can do the hamstring as well. It's a little bit more tricky to do hamstring. So again, when we do that happy baby pose, when we lay on our back and I get you to kind of rub you can use a ball there if you wish. You know, just getting, you can do it down here. There's no rules, you can kind of do what feels right to you, but just trying to make sure that you're giving it some attention. Do the other side, however, for time. Alright, do the other side. It's 5 to 10, if anybody needs to dash off, you feel free to go, otherwise we'll just do this other leg. So just again, rolling out. Your calf. Is it different on this side to the other side? Just notice. your shin, just everywhere. You can do the top of your foot. I didn't mention the top of your foot, but you can absolutely do the top of your foot. Again, you're just paying attention to how it feels. Again, avoiding your kneecap, but you can do either side if it feels okay. And then just rolling out. Quads. Just anywhere that needs it. The hamstrings. So you're certainly not going to do any damage with your arms and your legs. Depending on what kind of ball you use, it's fine to roll out glutes and shoulders, but we'll look at that another time because we need to kind of go a little bit more in depth with that. But certainly if you've got something like a tennis ball that's quite soft, in a seated position you can pop it under your glutes and just kind of roll your glutes out. And that's kind of a nice one to do as well, and just kind of making sure that you do both sides. So I will let you play with that in your own time. But yeah, we'll definitely do some more work with the ball. So I hope that was useful for you. Just released a little bit of tension and just a few knots and things.